actually ask questions. So there's a questions box, and feel free to use that questions box throughout the webinar. What we're going to do, though, I've got a guest host and a guest presenter today as well. We'll probably run through the slides, and then towards the end of the webinar, if you've asked a question, we'll answer all the questions at once at the end. So if you hear something and you've got a question, feel free to ask the question, and then we'll get to it at the end. Another question that we get right off the bat typically is, are we recording this? We are. So if you want a copy of the webinar afterwards, we can convert it to a YouTube link, and we can make sure to give you the recording of this webinar. Okay, so another, just a quick mention, this is a part of Zillow Academy, and we have a hashtag. We love social media at Zillow. If you love social media as well, feel free to use the hashtag Zillow Academy, and you can basically take a picture of a slide or anything that you see today or here, you can tweet it out. If you want to follow us on Facebook as well, our Facebook for Pros page is really active. On Twitter, it's @ZillowForPros, and on Instagram, it's just Zillow. I follow Instagram pretty regularly, and it's an incredible, some of the photos that Zillow publishes are really, really insightful and beautiful. So feel free to engage with us on social. And again, I'm the host of Zillow Academy and the Director of Industry Outreach at Zillow. My name is Andrew Hofstala, and I've been with the company about 5 years, and in the industry for about 10 in total. And everything I've done basically is dedicated to industry professional success and outreach. So I'm fortunate enough to be running Zillow Academy now, as well as speaking around the country at some of our summits and our larger events. And we look forward to hopefully meeting you on the road at some point as well. And so I do have a guest presenter, a guest host today. So I want to introduce Adam Wilson. Had the privilege and pleasure of working with Adam for a few years now as well. He heads up our product specialist team at Zillow, and he's been involved in a lot of different capacities. So I want to introduce him, and go ahead, Adam, and maybe introduce yourself a bit.
Absolutely. Thanks, Andrew. Again, my name is Adam Wilson. I've been at Zillow for almost 3 years now. Started out in sales and then moved over to account management. And they asked me to help build the team, the co-marketing team, when we launched the product back in August of 2013. So over the last few years, I've had the opportunity to talk to thousands of agents and lenders, helping them get them connected, setting up the proper expectations, and really helping them grow their businesses together. So I'm excited to be here today, and thank you, Andrew, for asking me to attend.
Cool. Thanks, Adam. And Cindy did get your message about turning the sound up a little. So I tried that, and we'll talk into the phone here as crisp as we can as well. So just keep us posted if you can't hear us. Awesome. So again, the title of today's webinar, Growing Your Business Together with Lender Co-Marketing. It's part of a suite of tools. Essentially, part of Zillow's mission is to provide technology solutions and technology tools to the industry. So Lender Co-Marketing is one of the examples of a technology tool that we developed in 2013. We have a large percentage of agents and lenders now connected on the program. Over 9,000 lenders are now co-marketing with agents on Zillow. And the benefits that Adam's will talk about further really is to increase the exposure and the partnership that you already have with an existing lender. But also the lender does get exposure. The lender has the ability to get contacts through this partnership as well. And ultimately the marketing collaboration that you and your lender can do together. So that's some of the benefits, and Adam will kind of dive into that a little bit further today. And kind of an overview, just sort of like what to expect from today. The first thing we'll do is we'll just do an overview of the Lender Co-Marketing program. We're going to look then kind of in more detail about how lenders appear. So what parts of the profile, what parts of mobile, where do they appear? And so we'll look at the different placements that the lenders have. We'll also go through the actual process of inviting lenders, so where that's done on your profile and for how much and all of that. And then we will discuss industry compliance considerations and RESPA and all that throughout this as well, just to make sure everybody understands how this program actually works. So that's kind of what to expect from this session. And now I'll turn it over to Adam, and he'll run us through the overview.
Yeah, thank you, Andrew. Okay, we're going to look at this slide for a few minutes. I know that it's not the prettiest, but I want to go over just basic fundamentals of the co-marketing product, how it's set up, how many lenders you can have, and their exposure levels, et cetera. So many of you might already know, but the product does allow you to invite up to 5 lenders at one time who can co-market. Now, we found really that the best co-marketing partnerships are the one-on-one, one agent to one lender. But like I said, you can invite up to 5. Now, this really will depend on your exposure level on Zillow, how many impressions you have per month, et cetera. Because we do find that lenders get about 40% of the contacts that agents get. So if you have a small exposure and you try to invite 3 lenders, short term they might be on there, but really long term I think that they'll be unhappy. So like I said, it's better to have 1 happy lender than 3 unhappy ones. That doesn't mean it doesn't work for everybody. Just keep in mind it is based on the impressions you get. Like I said, lenders get 40%. So you want to think about that before inviting more than 1. Some of you also might be kind of considering, well, how is the lender going to pay? Are they going to pay me directly? Well, no. What's happened is, and we've kept this into consideration for the compliance issues, is that the lender pays Zillow directly by inputting their credit card into their Zillow profile. So once the lender does that, they'll be charged every month on your bill day the amount that they've agreed to co-market, and you will be charged less. The maximum contribution for one lender is 50%. Again, this is for RESPA considerations. The system is set up so that the lender can never get charged more than 50%. An example of that would be maybe some of you have been under-delivered your impressions one month where your bill was dropped a little bit. The system recognizes that if you have a lender and will drop the lender's contribution the same, so that, again, like I said, they will never go over 50%. Now, back to the fact if you had more than one lender, the maximum they can contribute as a group is 90%. So let's say in a scenario you had 3 lenders. One could do 50, one could do 30%, and the other could do 10%. Now, in this situation, no matter how many lenders you have, whether it's 2, 3, or 5, you as the agent always have to be responsible for 10% of the monthly marketing cost. The minimum a lender can contribute is $20. That doesn't matter if you're spending $40 on marketing or $5,000. The minimum a lender could do would be $20. Now, I'm sure some of you are thinking, well, how are the lenders going to show up if they're spending different amounts? That is based on their spend. So like I said with that example before, the lender who's spending 50% compared to the lender who's contributing 10% is going to show up much more. Now, again, each PA or each Premier agent is different with regards to how many impressions they have, so I can't give you an exact number specifically on how many times the lender is going to show up. It's just based on the amount that the lender is contributing.
Okay, great. So overview, I guess, just to summarize, one lender can contribute 50%, and more than one lender can join, but not for a maximum total of 90% of the agent's spend on Zillow.
Correct.
Okay, cool. So let's now take a closer look at kind of where the lenders show up. Let's advance the slide here. So maybe walk us through the different examples of where the lenders are actually showing.
Absolutely. So this is how the lenders show up on the desktop. I'm hoping that many of you log into your Zillow profiles regularly. So we're going to start with over on the left on your Zillow profile. And I do want to point out that preferred lender there, that verbiage has changed across Zillow, and that actually happened yesterday. So all preferred lender language is referred to now as Premier Lender. This is really a big win, I think. Many lenders had a problem with that language of preferred. So it's more in line, the Premier Lender with Premier Agent with our general marketing. So kind of excited about that. We just didn't have a time to update the slides before it rolled out yesterday. So back to the desktop profile. So you can see here Michael's lender, Lucy here, is going to show up below his profile bio. Again, if you had multiple lenders, they would show up all here at once. Now, in the middle, we have featured listings, which I'm sure many of you have. If you do have a Premier Lender, they're going to show up right above the Contact Agent button. And you can see that by default, the box is checked there that says, I want to get pre-approved. We've done this on purpose. If you do have a co-marketing Premier Lender, that box is always checked. And again, what will happen sometimes, though, that's why I said 40% of the contacts go to lenders, is the consumer can uncheck that box. So that will happen. That's just something that you need to communicate, or the communication needs to be open with your lender in knowing which contacts go to the lender and which don't. If you do go into your CRM where your contacts are stored, you can see which contacts went to your lender, and it says right underneath there when you open up the detailed section. Okay, now over on the right, this is the buyer's agent list, which I'm sure many of you are already familiar with when you're showing up as one of those 3 agents on a listing. There are actually 2 buyer's agents lists on each home detail page. Where the lender is going to show up is going to be on the bottom buyer's agent list. They do have that same exposure. That box will be checked by default. I'm not sure. It's not on this slide, but it would be if it was a live co-marketing relationship. But again, the lender's showing up on the bottom buyer's agent list. Now, sometimes I get questions like, why isn't the lender showing up at the top one? Or, lenders don't like that, et cetera. The reason why, we've done many A/B tests or internal tests to know that when there are more faces and more information put up in that upper buyer's agent list, the conversion rate goes down. So it might be kind of a shock at first for some lenders. Why am I not showing up there? Long term, for the context they're receiving, it's much better. So now we're going to take a look at the mobile.
Yeah, cool. And there's also, again, the idea of branding a lender next to the agent. Adam did a great job here explaining kind of on the profile, on listings, and then on the actual home details page where the contact agent button is featuring the lender below the advertising agents. There's two other spots I'll just quickly mention because we didn't have them up on the slide. One of those spots is your Premier Agent website. So if you are taking advantage of your Premier Agent website, we feature your lender if they're co-marketing there as well, lender or lenders. And lastly, our drip campaigns. So we have free drip campaigns built into our lightweight CRM, which is inside of your agent hub. If you take advantage of those drip campaigns, you'll also find the monthly reports, the marketing reports that go out. Your lenders actually featured there as well. So we try to really, increase that visibility across all marketing that you're doing on Zillow. And the next topic, and where we're placing folks together, agents and lenders, is on mobile. And I'll let Adam kind of explain how this works as well. But just keep in mind, 2/3 of Zillow's traffic does come from mobile, especially on the weekends. These are, Androids, iPhones, tablets. This is huge. Huge, and just understand that that's where a lot of the leads and the contacts that you're getting are being driven from, is from the consumers using mobile. So we've made sure to place lenders on mobile as well. So Adam, do you want to kind of?
Yeah, absolutely. It's really not that much different than the desktop. Again, on the buyer's agent list, both on Apple and the Android, your Premier lender is going to show up below the contact button. Again, if you had multiple lenders, they would rotate in here depending on their spend. The same thing with the desktop. The box is always checked by default. If you're co-marketing with a lender that says, I want to get pre-approved, the consumer hits the send button, both of you get the contact. And like I said before, even in the mobile app, you can go into your CRM on your desktop and you can see which contacts went to your lender that you're working with.
Okay, great. Awesome. Thanks. So what about how to actually invite lenders?
Absolutely. I assume that maybe some of you have already done this before, but I just kind of want to go over it real quick for maybe some who haven't. After you log into your Zillow profile, up on the top, one of the navigation bars will say advertising. If you click on that, it opens up another set of links, and then you can click on lender co-marketing. It'll take you to the page where you invite the lender. There's a kind of a cute little video there that in a nutshell kind of sums up the product. You can share that with your lender that you're inviting if you'd like. You click on the Invite a Lender Now, which opens up another dialog box where you can enter in the lender's information. What's kind of nice about this is it'll show your total spend, and that you cannot put in more than 50%, otherwise the system will give you an error message. Make sure that you have the lender's correct email address. If they do already have a Zillow profile, you can look that up in the agent directory or the mortgage lender directory. If they do already have a Zillow profile, it'll just immediately get sent to them, and then they will get notified that you've invited them to co-market. Obviously, it's best if you are inviting a lender that you already worked with. Definitely knowing each other helps out, and also having that conversation before you send out the invite so they know that to be expecting it.
Awesome. And I will plug our account management team. The team that Adam actually manages is pretty robust. We have a whole team of account managers and product specialists that specialize in talking your lender through this process as well. So if you need that support, we're definitely here to offer that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. If I can just interject real quick about inviting a lender, I wanted to let you guys know that sometimes there are going to be lenders out there who work for certain lending institutions where they already are mandated by their own company, let's say Wells Fargo or Prime Lending. They can only co-market for 31%. So you might get some pushback from a lender that says, I can't do more than 31%. And that's actually coming, like I said, from their company. Their corporate level has spoken with ours, and that they've determined that is the value of the amount that they're getting exposure-wise. And there's also some lenders out there that won't be able to co-market with you if you have other lenders co-marketing. So like I said, Wells Fargo and a few others are 31% and a one-on-one partnership, which to me really is the best way. So it's just really a good idea to not try to extend it too much and get a lot of lenders on.
And Adam, while we're on this slide right here where it says inviting your lender for 30% contribution yields the best results,
right?
From the lending institution, they've kind of restricted the amount, but what's the research found in terms of how much lenders actually contribute and if they drop off and that kind of thing? What you guys found?
We found that the 30% is the sweet spot because, like I was saying about the number of contacts that a lender actually gets, correlates with that. When it gets down to the nitty-gritty, the pixels where the size of the lender's picture is a little smaller than the agent. So, in looking at it in a numbers perspective, this is the best percentage to go for. Like I said, it can work more. If a lender wants to contribute more and you guys have the right amount of exposure, it does work. But in the beginning, even if the lender is willing to do 50%, it's best just to ask for a little bit at first. And then as they get kind of a taste of the contacts that are coming in and how it all works, then you can go back and increase that contribution later.
Okay. And then my other question as well, you mentioned the lending institutions. Are there any lending institutions that currently are not allowed to co-market?
Good question, Andrew. I'm glad you brought that up. Yes, there are some. There is Quicken Loans, Citibank, Chase, and Bank of America currently, from a corporate level, are not letting their LOs co-market on Zillow. Now, this is something that we're in discussions with them. So in the future, I hope to open that up to them because that is a huge number of loan officers out there. But right now, if you do find, ask some who are from those organizations, sometimes they might not even know, but we are working with, say, Bank of America and running reports on a monthly basis to find co-marketing relationships that are not allowed. So just know that if you do ask them, they might not know, but they are not allowed to co-market on Zillow at this time.
Okay. Cool. So moving on now to actually the invitation.
Right. This is basically what your lender would see once they get that invitation. They're going to sign into their profile just like yours. They'll accept the invitation, put in their billing information, and this is obviously where they put their credit card in. And since we're talking about the billing information credit cards, I wanted to just briefly talk about how billing works for this. The lenders billed about 24 hours before your bill date. So every agent on Zillow has a different bill date, just because it's determined by the date that they first purchased. Now, like I said, the lender's card is charged about 24 hours beforehand. If the charge does go through, then your card would be charged less that amount that you asked them to contribute. However, as we all know, as modern consumers, and this product is unique because it's two separate credit cards attached to one account. And if the lender's card does have fraudulent activity or it's declined or for some reason it's not working, the agent's card is then charged the full amount. Now, someone might be asking why that is. Well, when you as the agent first got on Zillow, you agreed to either a 6 or a 12-month contract, which you guys do have the contract, and lenders at this time do not. So they're on a month-to-month basis. So if the situation arises where a lender's card is declined, like I said, the agent is responsible or is charged the full amount. Now, also, after you send out an invite to a lender, we do send out reminder emails to that lender on the 2nd, the 4th, the 6th, the 8th, and the 14th day after the invite is sent out. So we do have it automated set up to kind of get the ball rolling and remind them that they want to get that co-marketing set up. But again, if this is a lender you've worked with in the past, I'm hoping that you guys are talking on a regular basis and this is something that you're both on board with. We're more than happy, as Andrew said, to speak to your lenders with compliance issues. A lot of lenders move a little slower than agents, and they will need to get approval from their compliance department, and that's where we come in to kind of explain that to them, provide some information, and sometimes even talk to their compliance managers. And that's not a problem, and we'd be more than happy to help that out with that.
Great, thanks. Okay, so our next slide, I guess, is the key takeaways, and we'll take some time for questions.
Yes, absolutely. Now, again, this product is about getting contacts. Well, it's about the lender getting contacts that you get on Zillow, but it's really more about the partnership. I know a lot of lenders are very contact-oriented, and they want an ROI. How many contacts am I going to get for how much money? With this product, that does happen, but it's really more about you guys communicating, knowing, knowing each other's businesses and kind of how each other conduct their business. So you need to develop a strategy with how you're managing those contacts. It's best to have a conversation of when both of you get a contact, who's going to respond first, and then who's going to do the follow-up. There's no reason why you can't do a tag team scenario and both working these contacts and being quick on the draw when you get them. And again, I can't say it enough. If you guys are not talking, or if you're not talking with the lender, the program will not work. It is all about communication with this, not just putting your credit card in and expecting to get some contacts. So just talk to your lender. Let us know if there's lenders that you've worked with in the past. We would be happy to reach out to them. But yeah, we're here for you. We're here to talk to your lenders and get them up and running and kind of figure out what's going on.
And then there's a couple other spots for information as well. Again, I mentioned our Facebook for Pros earlier. We also have a Pros blog. It gets an incredible amount of traffic. It's really entertaining as well and very up to date. We spent a lot of time and resources on our Pro blog, which is essentially for agents, lenders, and the community. There's also upcoming webinars at www.zillowacademy.com, and then there's an FAQ page at zillow.com/comarketing/FAQ, and that can be another resource that you share with your lenders as you are kind of talking about this partnership. So there's our contact information as well, Adam's personal email, my personal email, Zillow Academy's personal email. You're welcome to reach out to any of those anytime. We can be a resource for you for whatever, and if you do have a question even outside of this, we can make sure you get, or if you've forgotten your salesperson's phone number or something like that, we can just make sure that you get the support that you need. Okay, so I will open up for questions. There's a few that came in. So one of the questions is, did you say when there is a lead, it goes to both the agent and the lender at the same time? Can you clarify that a little bit?
Yes, it does. If a consumer reaches out to both of you, obviously you get the lead or the contact via text message. It's not set up. That's something we're working on, that the lender will get that. Right now the lender gets the contact through an email notification. It'll have, obviously your name on it, the property address, and the consumer's information.
Okay, and I think you covered this as well, but if there's more than one lender, how does it know which one it went to?
How does it determine who it goes to? It's based upon spend, and like I said, if you go into your CRM within your Zillow profile, and on each contact, when you expand it, you can see which lender, if you have more than one, which lender that contact went to.
How does the agent, though, know which lender it went to? How would the agent know? Like if they're advertising with co-marketing with multiple lenders, would the agent have any access to know which lender the contact went to?
Not on the fly. It wouldn't be a text message letting you know which lender it went to. It would be something that you would have to log into your Zillow profile and look within the contact that you just received, and it would tell you which lender it went to.
Okay. Can we co-market with home inspectors or attorneys?
Not yet. It's something I'd like to see, including title companies. I know they've expressed interest in wanting to co-market. Specifically right now, it is geared towards the lending world. So it's something maybe I would hopefully see at the end of this year. I know that seems like a while, but it's definitely an idea.
Okay. And then there's just a request to reiterate which lending institutions are not capable of co-marketing at this time.
So that's Quicken Loans, Bank of America, Citibank, and Chase. The rest of them, those are the only ones I've known that has come down from a corporate level. There might be some smaller ones at first that might say no, but that's where our team comes in, and a lot of lenders might say no at first, but it's just a matter of getting through the door to their compliance level and kind of explaining to them and kind of massaging their fears about RESPA and the CFPB.
Okay, thanks. Another question just came in. If the lender does not respond, could I invite another lender? Could I invite more than the lenders that I need to avoid some lenders not responding? So what's your strategy behind that?
Yes. You can invite as many lenders as you want. It just will put a cap on the ones that are connected. So if you send out 5 invites and none of those lenders are interested in co-marketing, even after you've spoken with them, you can continue to invite lenders until you find one that understands it, gets it, and wants to grow their business with you. So there's no limit on the number of invites you can send out. It's just a limit on the number of currently connected co-marketing lenders.
Okay, great. Any other questions, feel free to ask them now. And if there's none other, I'm just going to give it another minute or two here, or maybe 15 seconds, 20 seconds. If you don't have any other questions for us at this time, feel free to jot down Adam's email address, my email address. There's also going to be a survey that comes out. You know, your feedback is incredibly important to us as we present around the country, as we do webinars, as we do anything. It's always, you know, hopefully you gain some insight from what we're trying to present, but also your feedback for us is really important. So if you do get a minute, go ahead and fill out that survey that's going to probably come out within the next hour after the webinar is over. Okay?
Jeff, thank you very much. Thank you for taking your time out of your day to listen a little bit about the co-marketing. And again, feel free to reach out. I'd be more than happy to discuss this again on a one-on-one basis with you or your lender, or both. We can do a conference call.
Oh, yes. Okay. So we do the conference call as well.
Yeah, if you and your lender want to be on a call together to ask questions, I have no problem doing that. I mean, it's all about transparency with this. So, yeah, just let me know.
Excellent. Okay, y'all. Thanks again for attending. And, again, hit us up if you have any other further questions. And we'll be repeating this, and we can definitely send it. If you would like the recording of this, feel free just to email Adam, myself, or zacademy@zillow.com. Look forward to seeing you again on another webinar in the future. Thanks.
Thank you.